Avoid discussing any of this prior to the timeline, the rumors, or the receipts. You must hear me.
I have never dated somebody so kind. Like, this is my first relationship where I've ever been with somebody who's genuinely a nice person, and he makes me genuinely happy. Like, I just never dated somebody like him before, and I'm just grateful that he's here by my side.
That out to the world. Thankful, secure, joyful. Now listen to this.
My relationship with
Megan Thee Stallion.
I'm not gonna
name without stopping. And now this.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Make This Thing, aka Hot Girl Coach, and bitch, I am whispering because Klay is still in his food coma from last night. But let me tell y'all about cooking for my man and his.
Because this is not merely a tale of a famous couple's breakup. This is about a woman who has previously persevered through situations that would have terminated the careers and motivation of most people. Return to 2020. Megan Thee Stallion's cultural moment is at its height. Savage, WAP, Beyonce collaborations. She is all over the place. She cannot be touched. Then July 2020. Tory Lanez was involved in a gunshot incident. Details are contested. The charges were disputed. A protracted legal procedure that would take years. What came next is something that the music industry rarely discusses. Many people on the internet chose to question her, make fun of her, and make memes about her while she was dealing with a real physical and mental hardship. She was the victim of a shooting, and in some way, she ended up on trial in the public opinion court. Nevertheless, she continued. She gave a statement. In 2021, she crossed the stage wearing a cap and gown to graduate from Texas Southern University. Even nevertheless, half of the internet continued to try to minimize her narrative. She put out music. She gave a performance. She constructed. However, this is something else she discreetly done that is crucial to this narrative. She attended counseling. She worked on the inside. Her public remarks regarding mental health altered the discourse, particularly for young black women. In hindsight, she was perhaps overly candid about what she had been lacking. Her mental state had improved. She had completed the task. She was well enough to reopen the door. That particular detail is important because of the way this connection affected her, the way she openly reacted to Klay Thompson, the warmth she shown, and the extent of her commitment. It was not just infatuation. It was a person who had chosen to trust once more after years of self-defense. And one of the bravest things a person can do is to choose to trust again after experiencing actual suffering. It is also among the riskiest. It's because the relationship does not just end when that trust is violated. The version of yourself that made the decision to attempt is shattered. As we go over everything that followed, keep that in the back of your mind. The internet begins to notice something in late 2023. Since her public traumas, Megan Thee Stallion has purposefully kept her romantic life private. However, she is now making hints, not announcements, with a certain energy, warmer posts, and pointed references, the kind of soft launch that celebrities do when they want the world to know without actually saying the words. The dots then begin to connect. Despite being one of the most well-known players on the planet, this man is known in NBA circles. The Golden State Warriors are near before being quiet, easygoing, and extremely secretive about his personal life. It truly mattered to people on paper, which is why Klay Thompson and I want to dedicate real time to this. This combination made cultural sense. Consider it. Klay Thompson is not like other NBA celebrities. He has never been like LeBron James, creating a media empire and publicly recounting his own legacy. He does not use Twitter as a battlefield like Kevin Durant does. He is not a Russell Westbrook walking through tunnels in style every time. Fishing, excursions, bike routes, and low-key luxury are all part of Klay Thompson's California cool. When traffic grew intolerable, he famously rode a boat to one of his first Warriors games. When he is off the court, he seems to entirely vanish from the intense world of sports while playing basketball at an elite level. That energy felt like a haven to a woman who had witnessed the full harshness of public life, the scrutiny, and the way fame can turn against you. It was a man who was not attempting to become famous, was not developing a brand off of her closeness, and just existed outside the commotion. Additionally, the internet reacted favorably to their joint appearances, which is uncommon. Celebrity partnerships typically spark conversation right away. This one produced something that was more in line with acceptability. The rapper and basketball player, the Houston Hottie, and the Splash Brothers all described it as unexpected in the greatest possible way.
I have never dated somebody so kind. Like, this is my first relationship where I've ever been with somebody who's genuinely a nice person, and he makes me genuinely happy. Like, I just never dated somebody like him before.
Not only the words, but also the tone in which she speaks of him. In that clip, there is no performance. That is a woman who is really surprised by the pleasure of anything. It almost surprises her. The most significant emotional data point in the entire narrative is energy, which surprised me by making me feel this way, since it indicates that she was not producing something for the cameras. She was not deliberately picking a well-known relationship to improve her reputation. She let herself fall after stumbling into something that felt genuine. She releases Lover Girl in October 2023. The lyrics are instantly ripped apart by the internet. There are phrases in that song that could only have been penned from within a particular emotion, actual intimacy, not performed closeness. She attended his games courtside. She began assimilating into his society in a way that was noticeable to those who paid attention, but not overtly or noisily. Then Thanksgiving arrived.
I'm whispering because Klay is still in his food coma from last night. But let me tell y'all about cooking for my man and his family for Thanksgiving. Okay, so this is me getting my greens ready. I had some things cooking overnight.
Dressing rather than stuffing, looking overnight. She made it quite apparent that she did not want to wake him up by whispering at what must have been 6 or 7 in the morning. It was not just because the video was adorable that it went viral. Because it was genuine, it went viral. People were able to identify what they were witnessing. A woman who had a strong domestic commitment to a man and his family. You can see why the finale hit the way it did when you compare that clip to all that happened after. This connection was more than just emotional. Therefore, let us discuss the turning points. It produced real headline moments that solidified its public awareness. The Bentley comes first. According to reports, Klay Thompson gave Megan a personalized icy blue Bentley for her 29th birthday. $200,000 is the estimated value. To be clear, a $200,000 automobile does not demonstrate affection. Rich people frequently give expensive gifts to one another without any real significance. However, the gift's appearance, personalization, color selection, and public nature all seemed deliberate. It appeared to be a statement. You are visible. To me, I have an investment. The keys came next. Megan shared a picture of the two of them holding keys outside what looked to be a new residence. The internet began speculating about cohabitation right away. Did they move in together? Had they done it already? The picture was out there, but there was never any confirmation. It was a planted suggestion. Then followed the birthday celebration that turned into a cultural party.
She booked Klay Thompson's Ultimate Legends, Bone Thugs and Harmony, to headline his massive 35th birthday bash.
His favorite group in unison. Instead of simply throwing him a party, she found out what would be most important to him and made it happen. A casual relationship does not produce that degree of consideration. That comes from someone who has been paying attention, listening, and making an effort to show up in the precise manner that this particular individual requires. Consider the preparation required to reserve a legendary performer like Bone Thugs for a private birthday celebration. She wanted his 35th birthday to be something he would always remember. So she handled the negotiations, logistics, and pricing in a discreet manner as a surprise. Hold that picture now. A woman who wrote songs, cooked for his family, attended games, hired his favorite band, and seemed to envision a future with 5 children, a home, and a life. Hold on, because we are going to compare it to what was purportedly going on behind the scenes. This story becomes very terrible in the space between those two realities, what she was constructing and what might have been subtly destroying it. Notably, his 35th birthday fell within the window of time when significant professional choices regarding his future with Golden State were being decided in ways that would only become apparent in retrospect. The personal and professional timelines were running concurrently. Even though the relationship appeared to be solid in public, those who were paying close attention were already clocking this portion. By his very nature, Klay Thompson is not a public figure who expresses himself. That is proven. However, there is a distinct distinction between someone who is deliberately disengaged and someone who is reserved, and onlookers began to notice the latter. Watch all of the interviews from this era, not just the well-known one in which he sidesteps the issue regarding Megan. Observe his enthusiasm when her name is mentioned in public or when the topic of their connection is brought up. Beyond introversion, there is a flatness.
My relationship with like
Megan Thee Stallion.
I'm not
there. Let us actually sit with the clip, who recently threw him a $200,000 birthday party and has been publicly, enthusiastically, and wonderfully supporting him. Being questioned by a reporter. We are doing fine. Even I do not like to keep things private. He begins a sentence and physically halts himself before finishing. That is a deliberate choice about what is safe to say that is made in real time. Why would you feel uncomfortable saying things about your girlfriend? There are several potential responses. First of all, it would be dishonest to say anything warm because he was already already emotionally detached. 2. The connection was difficult to talk about in public because something had already happened behind. Although none of those responses are especially consoling, they all lead to the same conclusion. This relationship's private reality did not match the public perception. Moments were archived by fans. Pictures where she was lively and his look was expressionless. Appearances at events where their physical separation conveyed a narrative that the captions did not. Unflattering moments are captured by cameras. Context is important. However, a pattern begins to emerge when you stack enough of those experiences on top of one another. The blind items then began, typically on blogs or forums, for individuals who are not familiar with the workings of celebrity gossip ecosystems. Determining who they are based on the information given is the fun part, if you can call it that. An NBA player supposedly cheats on a 3-named singer-rapper whenever possible, according to a blind item that went viral in January 2024. When compared to Klay and Megan's timeframe, the item's exact specifications did not match together. Nothing is proven by these items. They plant a story, but they never do. And whether a story is nourished with fact or conjecture, once it is sown, it flourishes.
I want like 5 kids.
You are only child and you want 5 kids?
Yeah, because I know what it's like to be the only child and you want friends. My kids. I want.
Oh, you want that for them. You didn't want that.
To be cool with each other.
Right.
Kids 5 was what she desired. While blind items regarding infidelity were reportedly already circulated, she was discussing family. There is a significant gap between what she was intending and what might have been going on. It is a canyon. We now arrive at the name that caused everything to blow up. I am using Lexi Brown. Lexi Brown is a real skilled athlete that plays basketball professionally in the WNBA. She played abroad, went to Duke University, and had a successful career on her own terms. Her name was mostly well known in basketball circles prior to this circumstance. It happened quickly when her name was linked to the Klay Thompson case in the middle of 2024. The speed with which the internet acts when it believes it has discovered something. And for days, there was conjecture that Lexi Brown's Instagram comments were blocked because of this particular detail. Her frequency of posting shifted. Her previously open internet footprint abruptly shrank. To be fair, locking your comments and being quieter online when you are the subject of a rumor does not prove your guilt. It is a reasonable reaction to becoming the target of millions of internet users. Sensible people would act in the same way. However, the retreat was seen as confirmation by the internet, as it frequently does. The silence enhanced rather than diminished the story that was developing that Lexi and Klay had engaged in some kind of covert communication or involvement during his engagement with Megan. On her Instagram story, Lexi Brown did give a public response.
I've witnessed the internet chatter, and let's be honest, it's all lies, and I'm totally disconnected from this mess. This week is the kickoff of a massive and thrilling professional season for me, and my brain is strictly on that.
Referred to it as lies. She rerouted to the standard denial format for her season. Almost immediately, a purported social media follow complicated that denial. During the busy peak of the rumor cycle, Lexi Brown and Klay Thompson are said to have followed each other. Observers instantly noted that the timing of that follow-up coincided with the peak of the talk. Once more, it is not a confession to follow someone on social media. However, it became a story inside a story due to the time. Furthermore, timing becomes evident by default when no other information is available. Then, unsubstantiated claims started to circulate. The fact that Lexi published private messages about Klay on a limited Instagram story should be explicitly marked as unconfirmed. According to the purported substance of those messages, the Klay-Megan relationship was not as genuine behind closed doors as it seemed. According to the screenshots, Klay described his own relationship in words that Megan would have found devastating if they were true. These assertions were never verified. The screenshots were never verified. However, when they fit a narrative that people are already inclined to believe, they spread at the same speed as unverified news. That quiet is referred to as a non-denial denial in public relations. It is also among the loudest statements a prominent figure can make. This is the aspect that is virtually completely overlooked in celebrity gossip coverage, and many do not appreciate how important it is. All of the issues we have been talking about, the strained relationships, the purported outside connections, and the emotional disengagement occurred at the same time as Klay Thompson's most unstable professional moment. After 13 seasons with the Golden State Warriors, Klay Thompson decided not to leave the team in the summer of 2024. He accepted an offer from the Dallas Mavericks. Allow that to land. 13 years, 4 titles, and 2 of the best shooting seasons in NBA Finals history. The Warriors were more than just Klay's employment. They served as his professional persona. There was more to the Splash Brothers than just a moniker. It was a cultural brand that helped to define a basketball age. Even though he outwardly projected composure and said the appropriate inappropriate things in news conferences. Klay Thompson entered a time of severe professional mourning when it ended, whether via mutual agreement, financial negotiation, or organizational direction. Leaving Golden State had to be a seismic internal reality. At the same time as his relationship with Megan was failing, was Klay Thompson dealing with an existential professional crisis. Based on the timeline, yes, that certainly does not justify anything. Pain does not give one the right to harm others. Personal betrayal is not excused by professional pressure, and that loss is genuine, regardless of the particulars of how it's ended or what was and was not proven. It weighs something. It should be regarded as more than.
I have never dated somebody so kind. Like, this is my first relationship where I ever been with somebody who's genuinely a nice person, and he makes me genuinely happy. Like, I just never dated somebody like him before, and I'm just grateful that he's here by my side.
She meant it when she said that, and something went awry somewhere between that point and the conclusion of the story. Perhaps it was only one thing. Perhaps there were 100 little things. Perhaps it was the strain of changing careers, the demands of public life, or the habits of a guy who has never quite worked out how to stay. Whatever it was, a different conclusion was due to the woman who whispered on Thanksgiving morning to avoid waking him. That is the tale of Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson. Nor merely rumors, nor a controversy. A truly human tale of two individuals who were never quite in the same place at the same time, and the consequences when one of them was unaware of this.